Alright, we have to number 13 of the 26 steps to become a religious Jew. So, I would like to remind again, being a religious Jew means having a deep relationship with God, an intense relationship with God. That's what a religious Jew is, someone who is constantly growing closer to God. So, number 13, one of the most important thing to know is really our connection with non-Jews. There's a lot of problem today, and Judaism have failed many times in its relationship with non-Jews. Sometimes because we didn't have a choice, but even today we have a lot of Jews who don't understand how to relate to non-Jews and look at non-Jews in a negative way. Usually because they're scared to become assimilated because of the past history and forced assimilation and conversion. Usually because of that. So a lot of Jews, they stay away from non-Jews and they're scared, and it stays like that in the family, and the children grow up thinking that non-Jews are evil and dangerous and bad for them. So we can't blame them too much, but it's still a narrow reminder how to look at the world. And the big way, the way that especially the more mystical spiritual Jews look at it is that Jews and non-Jews are meant to work together, technically, like Yaakov and Esav. They are two parts of a whole, and actually in the Kabbalah it speaks about husband and wife, but obviously we can't get married because it's two different missions. So the Jew has the mission of the spiritual mostly, meaning that his role is to inspire the non-Jews to come closer to God and to become better people through role modeling, through teaching the wisdom of the Torah, at least whatever is allowed, the Bible and its basic explanation, and to welcome the curious who wants to know more about God and about how to serve Him. Non-Jews have 7 laws, and the Jews are responsible to teach the 7 laws to the non-Jews. So there's harmony. As non-Jews, their main responsibility is to connect to God through the Jews. Obviously, they can connect on their own, but they need the guidance of the Jews in order to know what to do and what not to do. Let's remember that the Torah is given to us because without it we wouldn't know the way to serve God. We'll only know the basics. But the Torah is not just for basics. The Torah is to teach us things that we won't be able to figure out just on our own. Basic example: there's 2 people in a car, and only one can be saved. Which one do you take? How do you make such a decision? It's life and death decision. So you need the Torah to be able to teach you what God's perspective is on this one, because as human beings we are too we don't know enough to know what's the greater accomplishment, what's the right thing to do. So that's Jews and non-Jews. As Jews are meant and obligated to love non-Jews and to respect them, and there's no way that we're gonna get peace and love and harmony if we don't treat non-Jews and love them, obviously. Now, what is very, very important is to remember that originally there were no non-Jews. There were no Jews. The Jews is a religion that was meant to bring the world together, and Jews are non-Jews who converted and chosen to be leaders of wisdom and spirituality, and each time you hear about something that you're gonna hear sometimes things like look at this Jew, what he did to the non-Jew, he cheated on the non-Jew and he spoke evil about non-Jews, and you're gonna hear some Orthodox Jews who say, yeah, but that's okay, it's a non-Jew. Well, unfortunately those people are ignorant, and we're not allowed to do those things. Everything that might seem in the laws that it's against non-Jews is not against non-Jews. It's to teach a Jew how to behave, or to challenge him and test him to see if he's capable of giving as the same amount of love and the same amount of respect to a non-Jew the way he gives to a Jew. But it's a high level, even though he's not commanded on certain things. Let's say he's not commanded to return money. If he finds money on the floor, he's not technically commanded to return it, but that's a challenge him to see, oh, now that you're not commanded, let's see your natural inclination. Are you someone who is going to return something even though you don't have a mitzvah command? And the challenge is that he should return the money to the non-Jew. If he finds it lost somewhere, he should go. So this is just a little example, but again, as Jews, we're meant to direct the world and bring it all together. That's what's going to happen when Moshiach comes, when the Messiah is going to come. The prophecy is that he's going to bring all the nations of the world together, and they're going to gather in Israel, they're going to connect to Israel, and they're going to start from there realizing that Israel is their bridge to God, and they're going to learn from Israel, from the Jewish people, how to stay connected to God all the time and love God all the time and be very spiritual all the time. And that's and they're going to help the Jews bring the final harmony and tikkun, so to speak, the final completeness of the world. So Jews and non-Jews, it's unfortunately not such a love story, but most of it is out of misconception and misunderstanding of what the purpose of the human being is. When it's clear what a Jew and a non-Jew are supposed to do, then we can live in harmony and hope for understanding and love and respect. But again, it has to start from the Jewish side, obviously. And please don't judge the Jews, the Orthodox Jews, when you see them acting in the wrong way against non-Jews. It has nothing to do with Judaism. It goes against Judaism. Unfortunately, there's a lot of crooked Orthodox Jews individuals, and they don't represent really the religion. It's unfortunate, but that's everywhere. You can never judge one person, the whole religion or group, just because of one person. So, and sorry if you're a non-Jew and you were affected by it. As an Orthodox Jew, I say I'm sorry. It's not meant to be like that. But Orthodox Jews are working on it, and Bezat Hashem, with God's help, will reach a level where every non-Jew will look at a Jew and say, wow, I want to be like that. I want to be spiritual like them. I want to connect to them like them. I want to change the world like them, and I want to learn about God like they do. So, let's do this.